Wired Axcess.
We'll do it live.
Wired Access.
Do it live.
Wired Access.
We'll do it live.
Wired Axcess.
Welcome to Wired Access Podcast, where I'm your host, DJ K-Dub Omaha. We appreciate those who like, subscribe, follow, and share, and do all of those amazing things. Remember, when you subscribe down below, that's for the wonderful production that continues to produce our show, Hurrdat Sports. Please follow and share and subscribe to also at Wired Access on YouTube. We appreciate that's where we have our clip outs. That's where we also have our highlights, our plug and play players of the game and stuff like that. So we appreciate you guys also voting on that on our Twitter and our Facebook. Today we have former Husker and current Central Eagles coach, running back coach, David Horne. David, welcome to the show. I appreciate you joining us.
Yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Man, we are doing good. Man, so of course, what's good is going on at Central. But before we get to Central, I think experiences make the current better what it is now because of what you have went through and coming back home to Central. You were a Central grad. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You had a running back career, of course. What was your process that you remember from your high school part that maybe might be intricate to who created David Horne and who you are today?
Maybe just my experiences going through football itself. To be honest with you, I grew up playing basketball. Basketball is my favorite sport. Has always been, will always be. And I think that just going through a process of going to Central, meeting people, and actually just playing the game. And I think it all started when, honestly, I think it all started in Little League, to be honest with you. My first glimpse of football was in, I started playing until junior high.
Okay.
I played for the Fields Foodway Falcons.
Okay.
That's where I started at. My inspiration was my cousin, Terry Thomas. He was a person who I looked up to at first to play football. And then
do you remember like your coaches back then?
Yeah, because my coach in football was the same coach in basketball was Kenny, Coach Kenny, who was the Burger King coach. He coached me in football. He coached me in basketball too. So and back then the coaches were yellers. They were aggressive. They were in your face coaches. So I think just him motivated me that way, and me just finding a way to always want to be the best player on the field and find a way to do that.
What was your drive for basketball over football, and how was it come to be who made you the football player?
I honestly, it was an accident, to be quite honest with you. Basketball, I want to go to college to play basketball. That was my dream. I think I went to prep my first 2 years. So ninth grade, I played freshman football like everybody, because the rule at prep, you can't play varsity. So I played freshman football, and I was one of the best players on the team. But we had too many good players on the team, so they moved me to tight end and linebacker.
Okay, linebacker I could see. Tight end's kind of iffy,
Yeah.
but
So the running backs were Stevie Hicks,
heard of him.
Chris Coon,
Heard of him.
and me. So I was the last one. So I played tight end, kick return, punt return, linebacker, my positions. And I think what happened was I was the first person to get called up to suit up varsity. I was like, whoa, like kind of where this come from? I didn't expect this. So then my sophomore year came, and I was the only one to play varsity out of the freshman group. So my sophomore year came, and I started linebacker, and I shared time with the other running back, Jeff Lisey. At that point, I was like, okay, I might have something here.
Now, what's going on with basketball freshman year? How did that go the way that you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, it was fine. Again, at that point in time, freshmen wouldn't let me play varsity, so I played JV. We all played JV together, the whole crew. And I think it was going good. I was still one of the best players on the team.
See, and this is before what they do now. This isn't where you're playing basketball all spring. It was you're in basketball in winter and out basketball.
See, back then, kids, I played all sports, okay? I played football, basketball, soccer. I ran track. I did it all. And each season was a different sport. So it wasn't nothing to think of, okay, it's basketball season, you're just going to go hoop. But in summertime, I live by a park. I live by Benson Park. So I'll walk over there and go play basketball myself on a daily. This is my routine. I hoop in my driveway. All my friends came to my house and hoop with me in my driveway. So that's how I kind of where I hone my skills in basketball. A little to be known, to me, those basketball skills helped me in football more than I ever even want to know.
Well, and what I mean, you went to Creighton Prep. Explain choosing a school when you were choosing the school, because of course with Omaha Central, all your kids aren't right there. Yeah. I mean, I've said multiple times, I've coached at Omaha South where we had a bus routine when I was a coach to pick up kids, and we're going all the way out by Northwest. We're doing at 5 a.m. till 7:30, and then, we got to take them afterwards. But you're choosing Creighton Prep. How did that process go? You're right by Benson. People will go, come on, man, he should have been a bunny. What's up?
So it was, my parents made me go to prep. Ooh. Wasn't a choice. It was probably about a group of 10 of us who played junior high summer league together. Parents got together. Of course, you want to do the best things for our sons, provide them with the best opportunity. So about, I would say, between 10 to 12 of us all with the prep together. So
you feel like that's the way it normally goes, though? Like when it comes to that style of choosing that kind of school, is you got to know people, you got to feel comfortable, and having a group of you that are talented or at least have some of the similar attributes make it where it's easier for them to go, hey, let's keep this team going and rolling.
Exactly. That's what it was. It made it easier, made the process easier. When we got there, I think some of them did want to go, but some of us didn't want to go. When we got there, it was just a different experience for everybody. We had a good time. It was fun. I just think that at that point in time, I was forced to go to that school, and I made the best of it. You
get to sophomore year, you starting as you said linebacker. Is that right?
Correct.
What do you feel like? Did you feel like you enjoyed the game as much as you did when you were doing running back at the middle school time? Or what did you even play in middle school? Was it running back?
I played quarterback.
So you're going through the whole turmoil of going, man, I better find something
I'm just playing, dog. Okay. I'm just playing sports. Put
me on the field, coach.
I'm just having fun. My favorite player at that point in time was Steve McNair. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
That's where I wore number 9. So
man, that's
great.
Hold on a sec. Let me take a moment.
Right.
Whew. That hits hard.
Yeah.
That hits hard. I appreciate that little nugget, man, because Steve McNair.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's
watch Netflix story is a good story. So quarterback in middle school. I played running back in high school, just had an accident, honestly. So how it just happened is I just wanted to play. I wanted to play sports. Sports was my thing. I watched sports on TV. I played sports. I wanted to play sports with my friends. We all played sports together. So it just, back then it was a thing that you just did. Either you play sports or you watch sports. It was no much video games. It was no things going on now. It's internet, social media. Sports was the thing. So that's kind of how it went for real.
Now you get through your sophomore season at Creighton Prep. When does the decisions and all that to switch to go, hey, this is where I need to go from here? How does that all go down for you?
It goes like sophomore year I'm at Prep. I'm playing varsity basketball. I'm playing. I'm not starting. I'm playing regular minutes. I'm contributing on a major factor. But I had a standout season in football. We went state. Offers start coming in from D1 schools. I'm getting letters.
So that's different than now because now they have to wait till juniors,
Oh, it's
right?
way different.
So you're getting talked to as a sophomore. Who was your first college to reach out that you remember?
I think it was Iowa.
And what was kind of going through your mind at that time? Because it's different than today. Today, everybody has all these videos, all these highlights.
Yeah.
This is a VHS still time.
For sure.
Slowly getting into the DVDs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We sure the heck still don't have the computers that are just pumping out all these videos that still work. What was that like for you? And what do you remember even just thinking when that first Iowa and like what was like the talk from home?
I think it was real. It was just something new to me. I didn't expect it. I went there, I want to play basketball.
Yeah.
So I thought I was going to play basketball. I just came back from Vegas in a summer league tournament where I averaged 30 a game. I just came from an all-star game in Kansas City with my coach, with the MVP of the tournament. So I was still basketball in my mind. I come home and I got not offer letters, but the letters they send out when they say, hey, this is a inquiry or a questionnaire or something like that. I started getting those my sophomore year summer. So okay, how real is this? What happened was like I said, Stevie Hicks was there at Prep, and I wanted to be the man in football. I didn't want to share time. I didn't want to split the backfield. I just did that. I wanted to be the man. So I talked to my parents, and they said, hey, this is your life. You're the one going to go to school. You gave it a fair chance. If you really want to go to Central, we'll let you go.
How does your fellow teammates, classmates that you've been kind of growing up with through junior high, how does that conversation go? Or is it one of those ghost situations because cell phones aren't as big as they are now?
No cell phones yet.
You got that pager if you're lucky.
Pager on the hip.
So how does that go for you? Because I think sometimes to get to where you want to go, those hard decisions have to be made. What do you remember about that struggle?
It was tough. I mean, of course they were mad. But I think there was no disagreements. There was like no beefs or anything. But there were some hard discussions. There was some back and forth. Why are you leaving? You should stay. You're breaking up the bunch. Come back. There was a whole bunch of discussions, but at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to do. And I think that quiet as kept. I think that I just wanted to stand out from everybody else.
Because where did your cousin Terry go to school?
He went to Omaha South.
He did, because I graduated there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I remember Terry. That was my guy.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell him I said hello, man.
I will.
This will hit hard, man. That was my guy. Good old Terry Thomas. Man, I ain't heard that.
That's crazy, huh? Getting old, man. You're getting old.
World.
Small world.
Central becomes the destination, but how do you get to that part of going, this is the high school that's for me? Of course, we all know back then, and as you guys are slowly getting to now, running back high school of the area, was that a key contributor? Was it the coaches there? What drew you to Central?
I want to play. My goal was to go D1. I wanted to play D1. I wanted to get a scholarship. That was my only goal. So I said, what school is going to have the best opportunity for me to do that? At that point in time, there's only about 2 or 3 schools doing that. Central was one. Central was a school sending the most kids D1. They were a school that was known as IBAC High. So in my mind, there was no other choice for me to go. There was no second choice. I did take a visit to Omaha South. I did take a visit to South, and I think somewhere else.
Did you take any Miller visits? Obviously, that was when Miller North was kind of getting big. Was you had Crouch and them right before you?
No, but too far out.
Too far out.
Too far of a drive. I didn't want to commute. I wanted to make it as easy as possible for me and my parents. So I talked back then, Coach Mack, RP Coach Mack. Had a conversation with him and my parents, and he said, hey, if you come to Central, I can guarantee you a D1 scholarship.
Which is different than it would be a coach now, right?
Yes.
because then it's all about the connections.
Mhm.
Of course, you had Amon Green come through that school.
Mhm.
He's not the only one that has been through that school. Who else was?
So the year before I got here, they had 4 D1 guys go D1. They just had Jermaine Billups,
Yep.
Larnell McPherson,
Ooh, yep.
Brandon Williams, Big Pace, Terrell, the O lineman. He just had with D1. So they had just had a cycle of kids going D1 before I went there. So seeing them, I'm good friends with Brandon Williams. Talking to him, in my mind, there was no other trade for a school for me to go to.
When you talk this out with your parents, of course, the support's there. We want to support whatever you do. Did they have any idea what was going on? What is their history on just the college recruiting? Because that's kind of why I really do what I do. I didn't have college recruiting. I didn't know anything about it. My parents really never guided me to even play football at high school. I played all sports all the way up until high school.
Okay.
And then I fell off because I went from Papillion, Bellevue, then Omaha South.
Okay.
And I knew nobody, and no one said, hey, here you go. What is that for you when you're going through this big transition of going from Creighton Prep to finding that D1 school? And was it more of they were listening to what coaches were saying and finding the help?
They had zero background. They had zero knowledge. It was basically, David, we're here to support you. How can we help you? What do you need us to do? But my parents have zero background in sports. They didn't play any sports in high school. They didn't play any sports in Little League. They have little knowledge of any sports. All their sports knowledge is from me playing all throughout my life.
Well, I like that because it's a drive in yourself that you found and said, hey, here's my goal. What do you remember about that first conversation? He tells you you get your D1. What's your next thoughts? What's kind of going through your mind to make that decision?
How do we do it? What do I have to do? You need anything from me? What steps can I do to make this process proceed? He's like, hey, gotta have a GPA of this. I need you to act accordingly, your character, and I need you to perform on the team. If you do it those 3 things, I don't see why I can't get you into a D1 school.
Was the GPA any problem for you? And if it was, what was your outlet to find help? Because I think sometimes athletes that have the talent are scared to get that help, are scared to find the way to get it done. Like you said, you had 3 things you had to get done, and you knew if all those 3 things aligned, those haven't changed, right?
Yeah, true.
I mean, from when you did it into now,
it's the
same process of those 3. Now, of course, being seen by, there's 6,000 kids in the transfer portal. So you're being seen by everybody, and you're up against everybody. But here, he's giving you this little guideline. What was that like for you? And
quiet as kept, I had a GPA problem at prep. That's kind of one of the reasons why I left. I struggled at prep. I think that if I would have stayed, I would have had a hard time being eligible. School was a little harder than what I thought it would be. So I went to Central. My GPA changed dramatically just because it's a public school. And I'm not going to say it was easier. I'm just going to say that I applied myself more. And I had a goal, and I want to reach the goal.
So you have this goal, you get to your junior year. Who's the first person do you talk to on the team? How do you get yourself acquainted that summer? What do you remember your first processes? Because back then, it's again still different than now. 2-a-days, you get all this stuff where you really get those connections that show whether you are in to win or you are just hanging out.
So I'm enrolled in Central. We have 3-a-days.
Ooh.
We have 3 days. Practice at 5 o'clock, practice at 2 o'clock, practice at 6 o'clock. 3 days. So the first people I meet at Central are Mark LaFleur Jr., Marlon Carter, and my quarterback, George Davis. Those are my first encounters. Mark lived around the corner from my grandma. So we already had a pre-relationship because we grew up in the same neighborhood, Miller Park. So once I got there, we just said, hey, he had just transferred in from North the year before. So did Marlon. So we was like, hey, we're all here now. Let's just see what we can do.
You get to that first season. You're playing against some of your former teammates.
First game
Against
Prep.
Man,
Week 1.
I actually looked that one up, but
Week 1.
What was that atmosphere for you, and what's your biggest takeaway of going, okay, I'm in the right place, and what was one thing going, man, I could have been with those guys?
Week 1, we play at George Norris on the grass.
Oh, Norris.
Stands is packed house. I'm playing against Prep, and we get the ball first. I'll break the first play of the game, probably like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards, something like that. And I'm like, this is why I transferred. This is it right here. So after the game, we end up losing the game. I don't remember what score or anything. We ended up losing the game. Close game, we ended up losing. After the game, go to the line. I see everybody, shake everybody's hand. Man, you should have stayed, yada, yada, yada. But everybody's happy for me because they see that this may have been the best decision for me personally. I had a good game. My friends, other team had good games. Everybody shined in their own way. So I think at the end of the day, everybody saw that it was a positive to win for everybody, not just me.
See, and I know the transfer portal for some people is crazy to think about and talk about, but I think even at a high school level for yourself, going through that's got to be a very good talking point that you're able to have with these athletes that might not feel they're at home. And I think it's important because we just had Trevor Munson on last week, who does recruiting for UNK. And one thing he said was just how important it was to feel like you have the opportunity more than it is that you're just a person on the team. And I think that's what hits hard with you is you saw the opportunity, you knew what you wanted, and the coaches backed it up, because sometimes that isn't always
a two-way
the case.
I understand. Yeah, I mean, so I always say, so we had some kids who transferred out from us last year, kids that transferred into us this year. My story always tell them, hey, I'm a transfer kid. I understand what you're going through. You have to do what's best for you. But at the end of the day, don't lose light of the goal. Don't always think the grass is green on the other side. Truly think this out before you do this, because it could change your life for a positive or negative. Don't do it for your friends or do it for your parents or have some outside influences making a decision for you. If you think this is better for you, by all means, do what you got to do. But if there's some other outside influences forcing you, making you, encouraging you, or have an impact that you're not thinking about it yourself, then I would have a serious decision with yourself and your family and decide if this is what I really want to do.
So you get through that first game, the season goes. How does your junior season finish?
I think we were I would say middle of the pack team. We made the playoffs. I think we lost first round. Middle of the pack team. I think I was probably top 3 in rushing, top 3 in touchdowns.
Are you getting coaches to reach out in season to you?
Immediately. At the end, as the season goes on, at Central, they had this thing. When you walk in the locker room, you walk into the coach's office. Okay, there's big windows you can see through the coach's office. Coach Mac thing was he would put our letters on the windowsill so everybody could see them. Man, I don't know what was the thing. Maybe it was encouraging. Maybe it was motivation. I never asked. I never knew.
Did you ever experience it to where you saw it as possible motivation, whether a teammate might have got an offer?
This is my first time. This is the first time ever. Yeah. So as the season goes on, as I'm walking through the locker room, I'm seeing more and more letters on the windowsill. First is just Nebraska, Iowa. That's standard, right? They're close by. Why would they look at me? As it goes on, it's Nebraska, it's Iowa, it's Iowa State, it's Michigan, it's Notre Dame. Letters start coming to my house. Now it's Florida, it's Texas, it's Oklahoma, it's Minnesota, it's every school you could think of.
How's your parents' reaction when, you said they're coming to the house, so now parents have to be a little more involved, yes. Right? And without the experience, it doesn't mean that they can't go through it, but they're obviously going,
what the hell's going on, David?
Going on?
What the hell's going on? Phone's ringing.
Not a cell phone.
Landline phone. Landline loan, check.
I still remember mine, and it still works. 402-9 or 502-9765. So landline still works.
402-558-4999. I got mine too.
Let's go.
No, so the phone's ringing off the hook. Coaches are calling. They communicate with me. Offers are pouring in nonstop. I have my pick of the litter of any school I could want to go to. My parents are happy. They're encouraging me. It was new to all of us because nobody in my family had experience like this before.
So how about, did any of the former Husker players like an Amon Green or anybody come talk to you that were alumni of Central? Was there any alumni of Central that came back and said, look at this, look at that?
Honestly, no. Nobody came back. I think my mentors or big brothers will be probably Brandon Williams.
Okay.
It would be he would be the main one.
Okay.
For the simple fact that he had just left. Okay. I call my cousin. He's a close friend of mine.
Amen.
He goes to Michigan. So he's at Michigan. I'm a senior in high school or senior in high school, and I'll have a constant contact with him. Hey, what's it like? Hey, what's it like? What's the process? Kind of what's it like being in college? Yada, yada, yada. Hey, these schools are offering me. What do I do? Where should I go? What do you think? Is this school for real? Is this school not? He is probably my go-to person to communicate with.
And when you're getting these messages from him, what's the thing that's really processed in your mind? Is it like, man, they really want me? Or is it like, I really need to find what I want out of this whole thing?
No, they really want me.
D1, but I mean, with having everybody flood yourself, you got to go, who's real? Who's just toying with me? I mean, there's no visual on the outside. Seeing the news for Notre Dame is very hard to get here at that time. It isn't like now we see everything under the sun everywhere. For Notre Dame.
West Coast, whatever.
But now you're going, okay, what is the benefits here? What's like, how does that all flood into yourself before you get to senior season?
So at this point, I'm kind of taking it all in. I'm not, remember, this is new to me. So I don't know how to react or how to, kind of to go by. I'm just taking it all in. I'm just going with the flow. This is all new. I'm excited. I'm on the newspapers all the time. My phone's constantly ringing. My mom's getting mad because my phone's ringing all times of the night, all times of the day. Then I come home, I got 20 messages. We can't have dinner because I'm on the phone. This is just a whole crazy process. Coaches come to my house. We're having dinner together. I'm just, at this point in my junior year, I'm just taking it all in because in my eyes, this is exactly what I wanted. This is why I left prep. I wanted to be the man. Coaches are, at this point, I'm listening to them, but I'm not really feeding into it, I guess, the way up. I'm not feeding into it. I'm just sucking it all in and figure, okay, at some point next year, I have to narrow this down. Right now, I'm still playing basketball. I'm still running track. So I'm taking it all in, to be honest with you.
I like that you said you're taking it all in. Where do you find comfort to do that? Because a lot of people, when it comes to this, it's clout, right?
Yes.
But you're finding that you've put some pieces together to get to where you are. You realize that, obviously, to make the big decision. Who gives you that comfort to say, to stay grounded, I guess it would be the more better term to put out there?
Oh, everybody's different. I'm a humble guy. I'm real laid back. So I don't like a whole bunch of attention. I don't like a whole bunch of people around me. I've always been
Hold on. You wanted to be the man, but you're good with the don't need, okay. That's mad respect because that's not the way it goes when we grow up in high school.
True.
Everybody's like, oh no. But to have that, like, where did that come? Like, that's got to be something someone passed down, someone talked to you.
I guess maybe it's my personality. My dad's real humble. He's real quiet. He's real reserved. Is a probably a good word to use. Nice. My mom is the total opposite. She's a part of the group. I think that To be honest with you, it was my reserved personality. I had a small group of friends who I hung around with. We went everywhere together. So I just wasn't. My end goal wasn't to look for the clout, as the kids say now, or to be the center of attention. I just didn't like. I just didn't feel that.
That's good, man, because it's hard because everybody wants you.
Mm-hmm.
And now you could have taken it two ways, right? It could have been bigger than the moment itself to where you lose the moment, right? That's what normally happens. Wouldn't you say?
I would agree. Yeah.
They get so caught up in what's given instead of continue to earn it as you continued.
Yeah.
Going into your senior season that summer, what's the thing that you wish you would have done better, and what's the thing you felt you really honed in on to make your senior season?
My senior season, I think my senior season, I just wanted to maximize my potential. Hit the weight room. I wanted to be as big and fast and strong as possible. I wanted to have my grades. My goal was I want to have no problem getting to the school when it's time to get into school. Wherever school I chose to get into, I didn't want to have no hiccups, no eligibility problems, no character problems, no suspensions, no drugs. At that point in time, I just had a daughter in high school. That summer, my senior, I had a child. So that was an experience into itself. So my goal was, hey, this is about to happen. Let's not F this up. Let's figure out a way how to make this go as smooth as possible.
You said one thing there. You had a kid in high school.
Mm-hmm.
What did that change in your schedule? And what did that change in your ability to do, or what drive did it also give you?
To be honest with you, I had the support of my parents and my family, and we had the support of our friends, the mom, and of our parents and our family, and that was the major factor. My schedule didn't change too much on day to day. Be honest with you, the most of the time, my daughter spends time with her mom. She was the one probably getting her up, taking her to daycare. We went to a in-family daycare. So my routine didn't change too much throughout the day. But it gave me drive. It gave me something to drive for. It gave me motivation. When I did spend time with her, which was probably every other day or every few days when she'd come over and spend the night with me, it gave me some motivation like, hey, this is real. How are you going to provide for this new human in your life?
So you start going through your senior season. What was your highlight, and what was possibly one of the things that could have thrown you off track if you weren't the mentality that you kind of built up for yourself?
Highlights. Senior season was fun. I think might have had the same record at the junior year. Probably average to middle average team, May State. I think lost the first round again. I think one thing I regret, I did play defense my senior year. I wish I would have played defense. I think it would have had an impact on our team. I should have played defense. I think that my only goal was to just finish the year strong and get ready for basketball season.
College visits. What all did you do prior to your senior season in football visits? And kind of what was kind of your contact or how you kind of developed that before basketball?
So what ended up happening was I broke my hand in tryouts basketball season, so I didn't end up playing. I had 5 visits set up. Michigan, Iowa, Notre Dame, Colorado.
Oh, that sounds. You said Colorado.
Colorado, and maybe Iowa State. Maybe Iowa State, something like that. I lost a scholarship to Notre Dame because they changed coaches.
Okay.
They went from Bob Davie to Tyrone Willingham.
Remember that?
So they put my scholarship because he wasn't recruiting me. So I'm down to 4. I went on 3 of the 4. Had a good time, good experience. I'm sure it was a lot different then than what it is now.
Yeah, they wine and dine and do the whole grind to make sure you're in, you know?
They wine and dine you. They fly you in first class.
Yeah.
You go to the best restaurants. You go to a game.
Because did you and your parents do your visit? Was it you and coach?
I'm trying to remember. Damn old.
It's all good. It all flies by, right?
It was me and my parents.
Okay.
Me and my parents, both my parents went to every visit together. On the Colorado trip, my host was my ex-teammate, AJ Anderson. Shout out to AJ. He had just walked on to Colorado, so he hosted me. I went to Michigan. B. Will is my host.
Comfortable.
So that was comfortable. That was cool experience. I go to Nebraska. Titus Adams is my host. TA.
Yeah.
Larnell's there.
Good old number one.
I got some friends who go to barber school up there. So they were all there. So I think what it came down to is, to be honest with you, that's where I felt the most comfortable at.
How important was Frank Solich during that time for you?
He was important. I'm not gonna say he was a main factor of why I chose Nebraska, but he also had a reserve to himself. I could tell he wanted me to come. I could tell he was heavily interested. He was at my house or at my games in the regular.
Which is different because now coaches can only go to one
really?
game.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know it until I talked to Coach Rule out at the state finals for Millard South and
West Side.
I didn't know
one game the whole season.
One game of that school to watch football.
Okay,
from what I heard, and I could be wrong, but I mean that made sense.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's different though, because like you said, he was at all your games, seeing how it was going. Who was the running backs coach at that time for him?
Dave Gillespie.
Okay.
Dave Gillespie was a running back coach. So it's like, for example, I remember Solich came to a game where we played at Benson. He was there. He came to another game. I think it was Papillion he came to. I had a track meet in Lincoln. Coach Gillespie was there at the track meet. I will go Coach Mack. I think Coach Mack had some type of ties to there. I don't know what he had going on, but he had tickets to every home game. So every home game, me and him and another player would go to every Nebraska home game together. So we go to the game, and I'll get the whole experience every Saturday. So I think that may have an influence on me, just seeing the whole thing up close and personal, being in the locker room every game, be able to go talk to the coaches, them know me by first name. Hey, David, welcome back. Good to see you again. Yada, yada, yada. I think they may have influence as well.
How about staying close to home for parents? Was that any importance on this?
For sure. I think I want to be around. Of course, I had a daughter, so I didn't want to go too far because of that. I'm a family guy. Quiet as kept. I really wasn't a big Husker fan growing up. And
not for everybody. I
really wasn't. So I always thought I was gonna go far out of state. It came down to Colorado and Nebraska. Those were my final two choices. The Colorado coach was Eric Bieniemy. Was a running back coach. He was very enticing, very charismatic. And he did some things that had an influence on me. He said some things to me that I liked. Gary Barnett was the head coach. He was a cool guy too.
Man, I remember when he came into Omaha, man. I worked down at TAC Air, but this was like 2001. Okay. I remember when they flew in on them planes, man.
Yeah.
They flying in on those planes on
private side. Yeah.
Private jets.
Yeah, private jets. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think what kept me home was my daughter and my family. Looking back, I should have went to a different school. But I'm happy with the overall decision, though.
You go through Nebraska, of course. You go through the years.
Mhm.
You get 3 in.
Yeah,
And then you got to make a decision that a lot of athletes are dealing with today,
yeah.
the transfer. What all kind of was going through your mind then? How did this all come about? And if you could not relive it, but also give guidance to other athletes now,
Mhm.
what's a positive and what's a negative part of that whole experience?
So that was tough. I played a lot my freshman year. I played off and on my sophomore year, then played at all my junior year. My junior year with Caroline came in. I had some off the field problems my junior year that had an impact on that. So when it came down, I'm in my junior year, I didn't touch the field. So I'm like, okay, I got a red shirt and 1 year left. What are you going to do? I had to talk with my parents. They said, again, same discussion. We support you 100%. What do you want to do? Ultimately, I wanted to play. And I get it. All kids want to play. I think that is still I'm lying. The number one factor now is money. But I think that is a major factor, still playing time. All kids want to play. Okay. Now I understand that.
Put in the work. You want to utilize it.
You want to utilize it, right? Especially you feel like you're being jaded or there's some favoritism or something's going on where you feel like you're being misused, mistreated somehow, some way.
Well, I mean, having to do another coaching staff.
Mm-hmm. You gotta restart.
What was that like for you? What was just the atmosphere that was brought in? Was it like when you guys had that first team meeting, did it make you feel at home or did it make you have to go, I got to retry out? This guy's never recruited me. He doesn't know who I am. What was that part of that? Because I think that's probably the biggest deciding factor on whether you're going to make it or not. JoJo Doman had to do it for 3 defensive coordinators. People don't know how hard mentally,
that's tough,
physically,
man.
Along with injury,
that's tough
to overcome these coaches, but it also prepares you for real life.
For life. It's tough, man, to be a 17, 18, or 19-year-old kid, have 3 different coaches every year, to go through a summer program trying to prove yourself to this coach, I go through spring ball to prove yourself to this coach, and then do it all over again the next year for a new coaching staff, and do it again the next year for a different coaching staff. It's tough, man. It could be draining mentally, physically, emotionally. It can be tough. Keep it real. It can be tough.
How do you find your new location, and what was your biggest gain from moving on?
I think mine was pretty simple. I looked at a handful of schools. Honestly, my dad did all the work for me. He said, so how you going to do this? I was like, okay, I got 3 schools in mind. Can you call these schools? I called Frank Solich. He was at Ohio. I called Northern Illinois. I called Northern Iowa. Those are my 3 schools I called. I set up visits. I set up phone calls. I set up meetings. Heard everybody's input. And I felt a connection and a closeness to you and I. I felt like that, but also back then, I really didn't want to sit out a year. Back then, if you transfer, you had to sit out a year, you went D1.
Yeah, this isn't where you get to just go and play.
You got to sit out a year. So I really didn't want to sit out if I didn't have to. I would have, but I didn't want to. So I went down to D1 AA with Northern Iowa.
You get to Northern Iowa, you finish up your season there. How do you feel you left college football?
Positives were I think I definitely had a positive experience. Met a lot of people, learned a lot of things. Definitely through football, I have traveled the world. I've been out of the country. I've been all over the U.S. It has taught me a lot of things that I still use to this day in life. Negatives, I think that the negatives I've learned have also made me better, made me a better person. Everything isn't sweet. Everybody isn't always your side, and you have to go through obstacles to overcome things to be better. It's just life, man. This is how it goes. In order to be a successful and positive person, you will have to overcome something at some point in time in your life. Everybody does it.
So you get done with high school, you live a little bit of life, of course, having a family, starting to have to provide even more for them as they get older. You get into coaching. What's your first adventure? How do you even was that even on your radar growing up?
Hell no. So I finished up UNI. I do some semi-pro stuff. I do some NFL trials for a little bit. Nothing's working out. I'm not getting paid. I have a kid. I got bills. So I start working. My first year coaching would be Concordia. C1, class C1. Probably I would say maybe 2012, 2013. My friend who I grew up with, Lance Griffin, gets a head coaching job. My family and crew, we have all take jobs with him. We have a receivers coach. We have a D-line coach. We have a strength conditioning coach. It's probably about 6 of us that gets on the coaching staff. We all go to Concordia with Lance, and we give it a swirl, as you would say. We were there 2 years. The second year, I think we go like 9-2 or something, 7-2 or something. We go in a nice little streak. We had some awesome games. We end up making some noise, and we end up kind of turning our program around a little bit.
Well, and when you think of that, William, and we'll touch on it just a little, but this isn't Class A.
No.
This isn't D1 college. How receptive are these athletes, and how do you have to change what you're used to seeing being coached to you to adapt to that scenario?
Well, believe it or not, they have some talent down there. It's not the difference between C1 and Class A is, let's say Class A, on a 22-man people on the field, you may have 8 to 10 D1 guys, and C1, you may have had 1 or 2. Fortunately for us, we had probably a group of 5 to 8 kids that were really talented. And we just treated them as normal kids. They worked hard. These kids at the school were really smart, really intelligent, so that helped out a lot. And they play hard, and they wanted to win. So just going into, hey, you know what? I'm just going to teach these kids everything I know. If I put my all effort into this, they'll receive me how I put it out to them. And that's how I went, to be honest with you.
Where do you go after Concordia? You go a couple years out there.
I go 2 years out there. Lance gets a Central job 2 years later, and we all go to Central. We go to Central together. Central's Jay Ball just retired and left.
Former Omaha South coach.
Yep, he just retired and left. He gets the job, and we go and take it. That first year, unfortunately, we go 0-11, 0-9.
So you're an alma mater alumni. You're one who has the skill and knowledge to be successful. What do you remember the learning curve for yourself on that difference? Because I say it when I talk about coaching at Omaha South. My mentality from worrying about winning changes to learning and teaching these kids how to be beyond the game.
It's tough, man. It was tough because I lost a lot of games in my life. Not Central, it's in general. I didn't win a lot in middle school. I didn't win a lot in high school. All my teams were either, except that 1 year I won state, either middle of the pack or just above average teams. They get 0 wins. Was tough on the kids, tough on the coaches, and tough on the school because they weren't used to that.
Well, and then, I mean, this is what, as it's slowly starting to creep up, social media, your news is not in your face, but it's getting closer.
It's getting there. It's
getting closer.
It's getting there.
And you're seeing it. And of course, you're seeing your fellow coaches at other schools, and you're like,
what's going on? What's going on? It's tough, man. I guess all we could do is just, if we pour energy, effort into our kids, they'll pour onto the field, and all you ask for the best that they could do. Did we make some mistakes? Yes. Did they make some mistakes? Yes, they did. I think that just overall, coach, it's a life lesson. It was a learning experience for everybody, to be honest with you.
So you get through, and of course, here we are with Central. You gotta. We obviously have had Abdul Muhammad on here to talk about all the things.
What up, Coach?
And it just pours a lot of positivity back into the school. You guys are starting to see players come. You're starting to see some success on the field. But I think it's the character culture that is coming back at Central. What do you feel has changed? What do you feel is going in the right direction for you? And what do you think you had a change in yourself to help be a cog in that might be different? And it's not something you didn't pour before, but it's got to be from a different glass, right? It can't be from I had to change something a little bit because these kids learn different. They are different. They're not the same.
Kids is crazy, man. They're not the same. They're not made the same. They don't think the same. They don't act the same. They are a different breed for sure.
So what do you think your change? What do you think is kind of wrong with you?
Well, shout out to Coach Mack. Shout out to Muhammad. They are leaders of our program. They are the heartbeat and energy that drives us. I think overall, be honest with you, it was the kids. It was the kids. I think that we got a good group of kids in this year that wanted to win. They wanted to change. They put in the work and the effort, and be honest with you, that's what it took. At the end of the day, I'm not on the field. No matter how much I coach you or tell you or put you in position to do X, Y, Z, you have to be the one to actually do it. I think that get lost in a shuffle sometimes in the world. Everybody thinks it's always the coach's fault or it's always the parents' fault. At the end of the day, we call a play, but once the play is called, it's out of our hands. It's all up to the players. We can practice this play 1,000,000 times all week long. If we get there Friday night, and if one person forgets, messes it up, thinks it's another play, thinking about something else, has something going on in school, has something going on at home, has something going in the locker room, got a text message, seen something on social media, lost
so many variables. Dude, you are,
you know what I'm saying?
Dude, you're flowing them like water that people don't, they want to blame someone.
Yeah.
They want to blame someone instead of going, look at all the distractions. Look at all the things
it's crazy,
that took
man.
you away.
It's crazy, man.
From who you are. Now, of course, having your example and the humbleness that you have grown to who David Horne is today.
Yeah.
And all the tribulations that you've been able to go through. How are you pouring that into your athletes to give them that idea to go, this coach is showing me that there's a chance that I can, because I mean, some people will say getting out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you're just showing them that there's ways.
I'm just giving them positive energy. I'm giving them positive energy. I'm pushing positive things into them mentally, physically, emotionally. And I'm just going to be a vessel to help at the end of the day. Hopefully they feel like they come to me when they're in need, on or off the field. I'm just part of a team, and my job, I think my role in the program is to put out knowledge that I know and to help any kid who wants to receive it. And that's how I go about my day. I put out everything I know, all my knowledge that I've installed over the last 30-some years of sports. I put into them. If they want to receive it, they receive it. If they don't, I tried. I think at the end of the day, we got a great group of kids. Last year, we got a good kids coming back. I think that that is our goal, is just try to at the end of the day, the kids have to be the heartbeat of the team. They have to be. And we have to be leaders of them, but they have to lead the team. And I think right now, last year, actually the year before, this is my second year there. Before, we had a rough season. We had like 4 or 5 games that came down to the last possession. And that was tough on everybody because the year before they had lost a lot. And then the next year we had all these kids come in. We had high expectations, and then we went 4 and 5. We had about our last, out of the 5 games we lost, 4 of them were down to last possession. This year we wanted to turn some of those close games into wins. That was our goal. I think this year we accomplished that goal. I think next year our goal is to take the next step and
put OPS back on the map.
Put OPS back on the map, baby.
Well, David, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your story. And if we just get this out to one kid, and especially parents, I mean, he let you know, I let you know, our parents didn't have the experience.
No.
All we can do is pass it on to you guys who go through these hard times of, am I the only one? Am I the only one going through it? Mm-hmm. So I appreciate your time. I can't wait to see what Central does next year. Didn't make it out to a game only because it never got voted as a wired access plug and play coverage. But
it'll be next year.
I hope so.
It will be next year for sure. We'll be top 5 coming this season next year.
Hey, they're time stamping that right now. Be ready.
For sure.
We'll be ready. 5. And again, remember, Wired Access Podcast, we're a Hurrdat Sports production. David Horne, part of the Central Eagles, ready to take on next year. And we're ready to take on next year as 2025's here, and here we go.
All right, go Eagles.
We'll talk to you next time. See ya.
Peace.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.